I knew it would be tough for the 76ers to win in TD Garden in a game 7, but what I didn't know is that it would be impossible. I mean, look, what happened to the all-star MVP duo in Joel Embiid and James Harden in a game 7?
They left their game in Philadelphia in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, game 6 is where they left their game. It was it. The game was over. This whole series was over. Fourth quarter, game 6.
Yeah, and that's essentially what Jason Tatum took over, right?
Exactly.
Secured the win in game 6. It
Hmm.
carried over. Remember in the previous episode, I said, I'm looking forward to see Jason Tatum continue his streak,
And he did
right?
that.
Because he was asleep all of game 6, couldn't make a
Yes.
shot, turned it on at the end of game 6. And what we witnessed was a carryover
Yes.
effect.
Yes.
He could not
Absolutely.
miss in game
Mm-mm.
7.
Mm-mm. No. Masterpiece. I read somewhere where it said masterpiece, and I was like, exactly.
Hmm.
He did all the things. He looked really good. 51 points.
Oh,
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And he needs to be thanking the Sixers, especially Joel Embiid and James Harden, for saying, I quit at the half.
hmm, unbelievable. Well, when you look at it, Joel Embiid did not have a really good game, nor did James Harden, and that's who you're going to depend on, right? Now, James Harden, right?
Mhm.
How do you score single digits in a must-win game? I don't care if you're on the road, you got to give effort. And from what I witnessed, it just didn't look like
No.
he was able to recover from sitting on the court in game 6. It was just really sad to see, honestly.
you know, at one point, at one point in the game, I giggled because I said, "Is he on skates?" He could not keep his balance right. Couldn't keep the ball in his hand. He just had no balance, no ball control. Like James Harden said, in my mind, is he thinking, when is this over?
Hmm. That's what
Like,
it
is
looked
he
like.
doing Shaq and the Fool highlights real quick? It just,
Gosh.
it was ridiculous. Like, the thing about it is that it's a make or miss league, right? We know that. And you can have good games and you can also have bad games. But what I don't expect from all-star type talent in Joel Embiid and James Harden is that you appear to have given up. That's what I can't get over. It's that lack of effort for me. So if you're going to lose a game 7, please don't let it be by a blowout. That's number
Mhm.
1. And then number 2, don't let it be because you did not appear to give your full effort. Now I hear now that Joel Embiid he could have been compromised because he has this tear in his knee. So maybe that's why he wasn't at his maximum capacity yesterday in game 7. But you should
But
have I mean,
the thing is, when you come back to play, I mean, shoot,
yeah.
I expect if you can play, that you play. And don't, after you lose or play terrible, blame it on that. You shouldn't have
Yeah.
been out there if that was the case.
I don't know if he did it, but I know that's what I'm hearing
Hmm.
around the league is that he should be being prepped for surgery right now, and that he was essentially not playing. Uh, he was injured. I wouldn't say little, but he was injured during the game. Would we be talking about that had they won?
That's what I'm saying.
Hmm. Again, even if that's the case, I can tell by your body language you was over it. It's the whole, it's the saggy shoulders for me. I can't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. He didn't get back. He didn't even get back on offense. Defense, offense, what do you name it? He didn't get back. When I'm watching the game and I don't even see you in the frame, you
Hmm.
not even in the frame, and so it's 5 against 4. How is it possible, Joel Embiid? And then I'm
It's a
looking on the
problem.
floor. I'm saying, where's James Harden? So because the only way I can identify James Harden sometimes the camera's not up close to him is by his beard. I'm like, oh, there he is. I didn't even see him. Like, wait, what is going on? You guys were supposed to be 1-2. This was your season. This was a season.
Yes, it was. And the fact that Joel Embiid won the MVP, this is just sour on top of a beautiful cake. This is not how I'm sure he wanted to end the season. Not on this accord. This is terrible.
So the process is over. That's what I'm hearing. The process is over. Is the process over?
Ah, I don't think it is.
Okay.
I think that it's just getting started, honestly. They'll make a couple of changes in the offseason. I do think Doc Rivers will be looked at closely, but in the end, they'll bring him back.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
You know what? Hey, Doc, this is, you right on schedule. Doc, you right on schedule. This is how it ends. This is exactly it. I dare him to change the schedule for next season. I dare him.
Oh my goodness. I guess he lost 10 game sevens as a head coach. They
I
were
dare him
up
to
at one
change it.
point, 3 games to 2,
Mhm.
right? The same song for
Yeah,
Doc Rivers.
yeah, yeah. Same song, different franchise. Absolutely. It's
Mm, mm,
right on schedule.
mm. Doc Rivers, speaking of Doc Rivers, they always said that, oh, Doc doesn't make adjustments during the game. Well, Joel Embiid talked about how Coach Mazzulla and the Boston Celtics decided to send Robert Williams III to disrupt their pick and roll. And that's exactly what happened. And I don't know why Doc couldn't figure it out. Joel and James Harden couldn't figure it out. And that pretty much, aside from being hot from the field, in particular Jason Tatum, it was raining threes. But aside from that, they could not figure out a way to combat that. And that really secured the victory for the Boston Celtics. We have been talking about them playing Robert Williams III more. They must have been listening because he played 30 minutes in last night's game.
Robert Williams III is a disruptor. And I'm so glad they played him. And I'm going to have to give Uncle Al some credit
Yes.
because he showed up in game 7. I said, come on, Uncle Al. Al Harper did that. It was just a nice performance and how they defended. That's the defense I'm looking for when I want to watch the Boston Celtics. That whatever y'all did, that's it. That's it. And then the Sixers made it easy. That's the thing about it. You can't make it easy. Oh my gosh. It really was not the best game to watch. At one point, Boston Celtics was up by 30 at one point in the game. In the
Yeah.
second half. 30 points. What? Sometimes your top all-star players will not have it completely on. And I understand that. That's why you're supposed to have solid role players to bring it on. Should have been one of the games where Tobias Harris said, "You know what? I got y'all.
Oh shoot!
I got y'all. Let me just, let me just keep us competitive, if nothing else. Let me just do that. And I may not be able to help y'all win because I ain't the number 1 or 2, but I can do my number 3, 4 spot, right?"
Yes, because you couldn't got it. You did not get it from PJ Tucker. Yeah, he shot the ball. He's not really a scorer. You're not expecting that. You're expecting leadership and toughness and defense from PJ Tucker. It's Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey was supposed to take over this game.
They did the best they could. Tobias Harris had 19 points and 5 rebounds. Maxey had 17 points and 3 rebounds. Harden had 9 points.
Yeah. I've seen Maxey go off. He could have easily dropped a 40-pointer.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Tobias Harris could have at least got 25, 30. He could have. This would have been the game to do it. And if that was the case, would the Boston Celtics have been prepared for that? I don't know. If plays were drawn up for those two
I don't
at
think
one point,
so.
at least in the third quarter when it was getting out of control.
Yeah. Throw spaghetti on the wall, Doc Rivers. You're going to keep doing the
at
same
this
thing.
Point, come on, at this point, if you just couldn't. So since Robert Williams III was in there banging, you just didn't think to say, let me just try Montrezl Harrell because they about what? They about Montrezl can probably match Robert Williams III. And Montrezl has a little bit of experience. They may be able to bang up against one another. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. But Doc, he stuck with his ride or die. He went what? He went pretty deep into his bench all the way down to Springer. D'Anthony Melton played 29 minutes, which was a lot for him.
Yeah.
But you didn't get much. You didn't get much from D'Anthony Melton. Korkmaz, donut. Shake Milton, donut. Niang, donut.
Oh my God. But what you expected to do in garbage time? The game was already over anyway. They played 3 minutes.
Vacation plans,
Yeah, they had been cutting nails the whole time on the bench.
Oh my God.
Now all of a sudden, now you want them to do what? Nothing. Of course, you brought them in just so you can rest your stars. Like, oh, come on, out, y'all. We know it's a wrap. Oh my gosh, But congratulations to the Boston Celtics. They did that.
Yeah. Now, would you say the Celtics were the better team overall?
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think
Yep.
so too. Yeah, 1
Yeah.
through 8, 1 through 6 at least, because you gotta throw Grant Williams into the mix, even
Yes, you
though
do.
he did not put on a great performance, right? He
Yep.
played 3 little minutes. I think is Grant Williams dealing with some kinda injury or something? Because I noticed his minutes have been down.
Not that I'm aware of.
Mhm.
We'll see what he puts up in the next series, but not that I'm aware of.
So the Celtics move on to face the Miami Heat, and this is the matchup that we have been anticipating.
Yes.
Uh-huh. I cannot wait to see this. What is it
The-
gonna look like for Jimmy Butler? What is it gonna look like? Because he's been on an incredible tear. I
yeah.
mean, the Celtics, I feel like they belong in the Eastern Conference Finals. I
Mhm.
don't think I can say the same thing about the Miami Heat.
That they belong in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, they there anyway.
They aren't they?
They made it. It's going to be a nice. I think this is going to be a very physical game. You know, Miami Heat. They come. They be ready to scrap.
I
There, I
know.
think it's going to be a physical game, and I'm wondering. I can't wait to see Marcus Smart and Kyle Lowry. Oof.
A lot of flopping going
Ooh-wee.
on. A lot of flopping
Oh,
going
we
on
going
in this
oh,
series.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be
the
really good
Miami
for
Heat
you.
been resting for a while though.
I know.
Mhm.
Boston gets a couple of days. 'Cause believe game one is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, today is Monday. So yeah, they don't get that many days rest, which can be an advantage. It can
Yeah.
be an advantage. They still still have the adrenaline going from game seven. So Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum. Interesting.
Can't wait. Cannot wait to see it. So game one of the Eastern Conference Finals will take place in Boston.
Yep.
Ooh, can the Miami Heat go on the road and get one?
I believe they can. I don't know if it'll be game one, but I can believe they can get one. Yeah. Yeah. I just do you think game one will set the tone for what the series will look like?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, there'll be
Mhm,
adjustments, but in terms of
mhm,
physicality and how the series will be called, I
mhm.
think we'll see glimpses of that in game one. Absolutely.
Will the experience of Coach Spoelstra outshine the inexperienced Joe Mazzulla?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Coach Spo, he could throw you down his Haslam in a muck up things, just to kind of throw something in. Mm-mm.
Because Udonis Haslam will be dressed. Trust that. He gonna have on his uniform. That's what
Yep.
he gonna do.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of adjustments. And then Jimmy Butler, like he's on this thing where it's like, oh, y'all, he just got this cocky situation going on with him right now. And
Yeah.
rightfully so, right? The Miami
Yeah,
Heat.
he earned it.
Yeah.
He's backing it up. It makes sense when you back it up. How do you dispute it? So interesting. Will Jason Tatum rise to the moment?
Oh, yeah. And if he doesn't, guess what? Jalen Brown
Ooh,
will.
JB will. I
Hmm.
hope that they be willing to say, okay, yeah, yeah, JB, he can rise. Oh my gosh. Eesh. Is this gonna be a 3-point shootout fest?
I don't think it will be. I think it will take place in the mid range and in the post.
Okay.
Hmm.
Huh. So Bam and Al Horford?
Oh, I think Bam is gonna have a phenomenal series. 'Cause
Okay.
he kind of turned it on at the end of the last series with the New York Knicks. I started to see, oh shoot, Bam is ready. Bam had to get warmed up. It took him 100 games, but he's ready now.
Yeah.
He's ready now. This is the matchup that we have been dying to see. And now we get it.
Interesting. Now we get it. A, a,
Hmm.
a, a rematch of 2020.
The
Wow.
bubble. Right.
The bubble on both ends, Eastern and
Mhm.
Western Conference. It's a rematch.
Yes, that's what makes this so good.
3 years later, here we go.
Mhm.